A Division III collegiate athlete recently completed the 100 meters in 9.89 seconds. No premier facilities, no D1 program, and no scholarship. Just a Wisconsin kid who was turned down by every major university. And in 2026, he became the world's fastest man. Noah Lyles stated something that sums up the current state of sprinting when he learned about this. We'll address that. However, you must first recognize how unrealistic this scenario is. Because Noah Lyles' time of 9.89 seconds is tied for third place at the Tokyo 2025 World Athletics Championships. Not third in the world, not third in his age group, and not third in college. Against all professional sprinters worldwide. Sam Blaskowski accomplished this without receiving any scholarship funds at all. Wisconsin's Oshkosh. It's not a location associated with elite sprinting. Not a location that has a track record of turning out elite athletes. It's just a typical Midwestern town where kids play baseball, soccer, football, and most of them never consider running. For a living, one must run straight ahead. It is where Sam Blaskowski grew up. He participated in competitive swimming, basketball, indoor soccer, and flag football. He played baseball in the autumn of high school and began running track after being cut from the basketball team. In that exact manner. No destiny, no plan. Just a young child in need of wintertime activities. Then an odd thing began to occur. He moved quite quickly. As a senior, he ran 10.83 seconds in the 100 meters and 21.99 in the 200. In both, he took home the Wisconsin State Championship. He also included the title for the long jump. In his final year, he won 3 state titles. It's good enough to catch D1 coach's attention. There has to be a call. Blaskowski's parents attended the Division III University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, where Nicholas Gordon, the long jump coach, was the only coach to call. His grandparents' home is a mile away from the school. In America, every D1 show continued to scroll. Consider that. The only option available after 3 state wins was a D3 school, where athlete scholarship money is not even given to athletes. Not a smaller scholarship. This is not a partial offer. No money. The college athletic establishment sent a very clear message. You're not worthy of us. Division of Wisconsin Lacrosse 3. The unobserved level. The point at which the Diamond League doesn't care about time. The point at which winning national championships is essentially meaningless to the global community. When Blaskowski gets there, he starts smashing records right away. He won the national D3 title in the 100 meters during his freshman year. Then, he repeatedly prevails. 4 100-meter national titles in a row. In the 60 meters, 3. In the 200, 3 more. He will have 11 individual DS by the time he graduates. He has won 3 national titles. Among the best D3 sprint careers in American history. And it doesn't matter to anyone outside Division III. Because this is the harsh truth. You must have run between 10.2 and 10.4 seconds to win the D3 Nationals in the 100 meters. That is really quick. However, it is not even near to the running times of the guys who get to the World Championship finals. There is a huge difference between the Olympic trials and the D3 Nationals. The difference between the World Championships and the D3 Nationals is entirely up to date. The question of whether Blaskowski is truly elite or just the fastest slow guy remains unanswered. Is he an exceptional talent that the system overlooked, or is he simply the best of a lousy bunch who will reach his limit as soon as genuine competition emerges? As of now, no one knows. He then competes against the top American 100-meter sprinters at the 2024 Olympic trials. He is competitive. Although he doesn't make the team, he should be on that track. The sports world outside of Wisconsin begins to take notice for the first time. However, this is the part of the story that very few people are aware of. The section that describes Sam Blaskowski's true identity in detail. Blaskowski must make a choice after winning 11 national titles during his time in college. His goal is to become a professional. He wants to know if he truly qualifies as world-class. In order to definitively determine whether the system was mistaken about him, he wants to work with the top coaches. He must relocate to Florida in order to accomplish it. To train under one of America's most renowned sprint coaches, Dennis Mitchell, at Star Athletics. The coach of Sha'Carri Richardson, who won the World Championship in 2023, collaborates with Kenny Bednarek, who has made careers out of natural potential. The gang led by Mitchell is in Florida. Blaskowski is currently in Wisconsin. He doesn't have any cash, a sponsor, or a contract. In order to pursue a desire that everyone but him appears to believe is absurd, he takes a job at a small regional airport, works through the off-season, saves every penny, then packs up and relocates to Florida. A young man who won D3 titles for 4 years but was disregarded by the world is now working at an airport to pay for his opportunity to compete internationally. The entire story is contained in that single detail. When he arrives in Florida, he works out with Mitchell, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Kenny Bednarek. The 2025 World Championships fourth-place finisher. Athletes with professional experience who have participated in both the World Championships and the Olympics. And something starts to happen in practice that Mitchell senses instantly. This child should be here. Prior to the 2026 season, his personal best time was 10.05 seconds, which is quick but not elite. Early in the season, he competes 5 times, 3 of which are at altitude. Doesn't break 10. Does not place higher than 3rd in any race. Doubters begin to form a queue. Perhaps he's simply a D3 kid after all. Perhaps the ceiling was the Olympic trials appearance. Perhaps the most daring and foolish thing anyone in American sprinting has ever done was to work an airport job in order to relocate to Florida. Next comes May 30th, 2026. Now, take a moment to consider Noah Lyles before I tell you the time. Because Lyles has been urging anyone who will listen for years that more people need to participate in this sport. The athletes who work hard in the shadows and seldom receive recognition are the foundation of the entire sport, and that track needs to reach new fans, communities, and faces. In interviews, he has stated as much. On social media, he has stated as much. Everyone can participate in the sport. Where you attended school has no bearing on speed. Before determining who is elite, speed does not verify your scholarship status. Then, at the same time that Lyles himself raced for bronze at the World Championships, a child from Wisconsin with no scholarship money runs. If Lyles saw that figure, you know what he would say. This is precisely what he has been discussing, he would say. He battles to make this sport visible for precisely this reason. Because Sam Blaskowski is evidence that brilliance is not limited to Olympic pipelines, Nike contracts, and D1 schools. It can occasionally be found in a young person who works a shift at a Wisconsin regional airport, saving every penny and placing all of his bets on himself. Put it in the comment section now. Did you know that a D3 youngster who worked at an airport might grow up to be one of the world's fastest men? I want to know if anyone anticipated this. Music City Track Carnival, Cleveland, Tennessee, May 30th, 2026. In the 100 meters, Sam Blaskowski lines up. His time is 9.89 seconds. 9:89. A 10-second run was his first ever legal substitute. He completely ignored the 1990s. Went from 10:05 straight to 9:89 in a single race. This season, the fastest American in 2026 tied for second place worldwide. Let me now explain that number in its entirety, as it must land completely. Seville won gold in the best 100-meter final in years at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo with a time of 9.77. Usain Thompson took silver with a time of 9.82, and Noah Lyles, the most dominant sprinter of his generation and 8-time world champion Olympic gold medalist, won bronze with a time of 9.89. Sam Blaskowski recently ran in Tennessee at precisely that time. Lyles finished on the podium at the World Championships with the same 9.89. Blaskowski would have finished 3rd at the World Championships if he had been in that final. A child with no scholarship money. No one outside of Wisconsin watched the 11D3 national titles. A work at an airport to pay for his relocation to Florida. At the World Championships, 3rd place. In one race, he went from 10.05 to 9.89. Dennis Mitchell wasn't shocked. According to him, training demonstrated Blaskowski's ability to do this, and it was only a matter of time until it occurred. Additionally, there is one more aspect of this run that needs to be stated clearly but has been skirting the mainstream sports world. Sam Blaskowski is the fastest white sprinter in the sport's history, clocking in at 9.89 seconds. In more than 60 years of sprinting professionally, no one who resembles him has ever sprinted so quickly. That is a significant fact. This performance falls into an entirely separate level of accomplishment because of that historic reality. 9.89. Reiterated. The Wisconsin D3 child who worked at an airport only finished in 9.89 seconds. Blaskowski shared a single sentence on Instagram following the race. It wasn't just about breaking 10. It turned into an obsession. On the track, years of selflessness, diligence, self-control, and faith came together. It wasn't a speech. It wasn't a list of people he disproved. It was just a man who wanted everyone to appreciate how much it took to get there. Years of selflessness. Consider the true implications of that for him. The world disregarded 4 years of D3 nationals. He worked at an airport to support himself while pursuing his passion. Living in Florida, far from his family, far from his grandparents, who live a mile away from the lacrosse campus and far from everything familiar and cozy. That's all for just one number, 9.89. And that figure is currently being watched by those who ignored him, the D1 coaches who kept scrolling over his high school times, and the programs that never answered the phone. 2 years from now is Los Angeles, 2028. Blaskowski will turn 25. Prime years. Home Olympics in the United States. The 100-meter final in a nation that is the world's biggest fan of underdogs. One of the 2 fastest men in the world is the child whom no one wanted. So, please let me know what you think in the comments. 2028 in Los Angeles. In front of 80,000 people who are familiar with his narrative, Sam Blaskowski represents the United States in the Olympic 100-meter final at home. Does he receive a medal? Does he definitively demonstrate that the D1 programs that disregarded him made the worst recruiting choice in American sprinting history? Put it down below. Each and every comment is read.